Lawrence, Midcoast Auditor. Just wondering, did you ever have a favorite place to go swimming? A public area, a public access area where the water's cold on a hot day and you didn't have to pay to get in? I did. Since I was a young kid, I've gone to Marshall Shores in Liberty, Maine. And yes, it's a small town, not much there, but the water's cold and blue and the fishing's great. So it's just a great place to go. The town complained about parking and pedestrian safety, so what was their big solution? Voila, Marshall Shores parking for Liberty residents and taxpayers only. Liberty residents only can use it. Now, the top sign, the little sign's been there since I was a kid, and it's not enforceable, and they don't enforce it. I actually called, and they said it was public access. Anybody can use the beach. But every spot around the public beach is for resident parking only. In an article on WGME 13, talks a little bit about it and the reasoning behind it. In the past, Smith has gone practically every day to swim at Marshall Shore, a small public park on Lake St. George that is owned by the town of Liberty. Public property. This summer, it's different because the town has banned out-of-town cars in the small parking lot, a move officials believe is necessary for safety reasons and to protect the park from overuse. But Smith and others who are used to going there to relax and swim said their access to Marshall Shore has been effectively cut off because the parking is hard to get without a car. People have been going there for generations. Just sit there on the rocks and meet their friends. It was literally 85 degrees out on a recent day, and there was no one there, she said, adding that she feels Liberty officials have gone too far. It was pretty much an overstep. It seemed excessive, and I thought it was mean. But local officials said it wasn't meanness at all. Rather, they felt compelled to do something after noticing over recent summers that swimming area was getting so popular it was becoming a problem. Visitors often overflow the 18-space parking lot just across the Marshall Shore Road from the lake. They would leave their cars lining the sides of the narrow, winding, and fairly busy road. Officials said that on July 14, 2018, 72 cars were parked there, or 54 more than the lot can actually handle. This kind of overparking can leave the road impassable for emergency vehicles, officials said. It could create a pedestrian disaster. They go on to say the danger of kids going from Marshall Shore to the parking lot. I can't believe a child has never got hit there before, said longtime Liberty Road Commissioner Tammy Reynolds, who has also noticed growing overuse issues. There was trash, vandalism, tree roots, and getting trampled. Too many people. It's public access. The public can go there. So what do they do in their infinite wisdom? They make all the parking spots for local residents and taxpayers of Liberty. It goes on to say, that's why last spring she submitted an article for the annual town meeting that was intended to address the parking problem at Marshall Shore. After discussion, Liberty residents adopted a parking ordinance that would limit parking to residents and property taxpayers who now need a certified parking sticker from the town clerk. Also worth noting, it's not enforceable by law enforcement. And the fine you don't pay at court. You have to go to the town office. But I'll come back to that later. They go on to say, almost every day I go down there, Liberty people stop and thank me. Yeah, they thank you for kicking out the public, so they think they own the place. I know the Liberty residents, especially the older people, like it. A lady stopped me last night. She's been 36 years since she felt like she could go there because of the parking and the hoodlums and the stuff that's been going on. Ooh, the dreaded hoodlums going to the public place they pay for. Evil people. But the description feels overblown to people such as Smith, Jane, and anyone else with common sense. All right, let's go look at the parking ordinance and see what these masters of government policy have done. Town of Liberty main parking ordinance. The Town of Liberty parking ordinance, hereafter the ordinance. Dun-dun-dun. The ordinance is designed to protect public health and welfare by regulating the parking of motor vehicles on certain public ways. Unrestricted parking on public ways creates traffic hazards and is dangerous to pedestrians and motorists. And its purpose of this ordinance to reduce that danger. All right, let's go down to Marshall Shore. Starting at the bottom of the hill, about 3/4 of a mile, is when the lake is first visible at the corner of Steve Jewett. We're in such a small town, they give directions by who lives there. To the end of the lake let the lake property owned by Susan Longley, which everybody in the world knows, so you'll know where that ends. On both sides of the road, it includes overnight camping. The ordinance does not does not apply to motor vehicles that are parked in prohibited areas or that follow following reasons: mechanical problems, or breakdown, emergency situations, or maintenance and construction. Blah 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 blah. And this is really interesting right here. Servability. In the event that any portion of this ordinance is found by a court to be invalid, aka unlawful, unconstitutional, bullcrap, the remaining provisions shall in full force and effect. They know they're playing with fire here. Starting on May 15, 2019, as voted on the March 29th annual town meeting, Marshall Shores parking area 18 marked parking spots shall be utilized by Liberty residents and Liberty taxpayers only. And it goes on to say that you have to show them your firstborn child and a birth certificate and all the other stuff that they try to make everything they do seem official. Penalties: first offense, no fee, warning, parking ticket left under the wiper. Second, $50 fine. Third, $75 fine. And fourth, $150 parking fine. And they're going to tow and impound your vehicle. And this is pretty funny too. All fines should be paid within 30 days of issuance, or fine will be doubled. All fines should be paid at the Liberty Town office. No, not the big building that says court, where judges go and the people that are responsible for this thing. No, you pay it at the town office because this isn't enforceable. All checks and money orders should be made out to the town of Liberty. You might be asking, why am I so animated about this? This is worse than a cop saying you can't film in public. To me, what they're doing here is happening all over the country, and it just pisses me off. The fact that it's public beach, which I did call the clerk, and I talked to her briefly. I asked her, so since the parking was an issue and it was overcrowded, and you made all the parking for local residents only, where do the overflow of parking that was there before park safely? If it's dangerous in the areas where you're legally allowed to park, what's going to make it safe if people have to walk a mile down the road either direction to get there? She actually said, good point. I didn't think of that. Also, how about handicap parking? If you got a grandma who's in a wheelchair, or you have a son who needs assistance, or anybody that's handicapped, you're going to have to park 3/4 of a mile if you're not a resident, and to use that public beach. This is the most gross overstepping of local power I've ever seen. They couldn't keep you out before, so now they're going to make it so you can't park close enough to it to get there. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to go there on a busy, hot day, and I'm going to film every violation they try to give out. Every time they give a ticket, I'm going to tell the person that get it that it's not enforceable, it's not right, it's not legal, and fight it. Because if we don't fight this sort of thing, our kids and their kids are never going to be able to access public lands, public water, beaches. You looked at some places in Rhode Island and New York. You can't walk down the beach. Some guy got arrested for collecting seaweed on the beach because it was quote unquote private property. And I could go through case law and tell you this case or that case, but I'm coming from a moral standpoint. Is it moral for a town, for public safety, because of over parking, to limit parking to only residents? That doesn't address the issue. How about they have stricter parking enforcement? If people are parking on the street and it's dangerous, ticket them. You don't remove the safe parking from 80% of the people that go there. It just makes me mad because I go there. I've been there all my life. My kids go there, and now I have to walk my special needs son 3/4 of a mile, if he can make it, to go swimming in a place that I could go all the time as a kid. It's ridiculous. It's nothing but residents trying to claim what isn't theirs as theirs, and using ordinance that's not even enforceable by the sheriff. If you go on Google and you type in Marshall Shores, Liberty, Maine, and read some of the articles, there's an article where the Waldo County Sheriff said that it's not, he can't enforce it. It can only be off clerks, people that work directly for the town. The local courts don't even attack. It's such bull crap. If you don't like what they're doing, and you really don't like this happening all over the country, I suggest you go to Google Liberty, Maine town office. And give them a call. Let them know that you think it's not in the best interest of public safety to limit parking to 80% of the people that go there. Let them know that it's not safe by their own admission to walk down that road. And just if you have an issue, I suggest you call. That's all I can say. I'm going to go there and do a First Amendment audit on the beach. If I get any hassle, you guys will be the first ones to see it. I'm going to film every violation they give out on that given day. I'm going to make sure that they understand what they're doing is not constitutional and it's morally wrong. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If you have anything like this has happened or you've seen happen in your neck of the woods, write it in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. This is Midcoast Otter. I'm out.